How you doing, YouTube? Matt Massive Beer Reviews back with a little bit of Heist brewing up in this piece in the form of their Mental Reflection. Yes, this be a 7.2% India Pale Ale. How about that? Let's see. Anything else in this? Never forget. 9/11. This is actually came on 9/11, so you're talking about 9, 10, 11, 12. 3 months old. Comes courtesy of my boy Oak Ridge. So we'll see what's what. 3-month-old IPA. Not necessarily, it's clear beer. See, that's why it's going to be okay. Because those clear beers, they hold up over time. So now I'm starting to think about the way this kind of comes off is that it's going to be a little bit of kind of West Coast jammer. Doesn't actually say anything like that on here. Just says, IPA. So we'll see what's what. Label-wise, it's cool. A little brain cloud, little mental reflection up in that piece. I love blue. I love cobalt blue, so it's kind of floating around that color spectrum. 7.2%. Yeah, done and done. Anyway, beer-wise. That's semi-clear beer. Obviously, it's got a subtle haze to it, but it's got that nice kind of crystal malty kind of sweetness lookingness to it. I know that kind of sounds really professional-like, but you know what I'm talking about. Kind of like West Coast IPA. The way the malts carry this kind of nice sweetness to kind of bounce off those piney bitterness of the beer. That's kind of exactly what this beer looks like. Pinky finger. Just off weight head, barely off weight head, a little bit of kind of soapy edges, a little bit of rocky top, but this really nice kind of softness to it at the same time. It looks very, very old school pretty with that subtle ease to it. I'm excited. Amber in color. Let's get a nose. Not a big nose. I mean, it's 7.2. It's not the biggest beer in the history of mankind, but I expect a little bit more there. You could be like, 3 months old. How could you even expect the aromatics to last that long? Well, that's a bunch of bullshit, especially when it comes to kind of properly well-made, kind of OG, old-school clear beer. But it lacks even a sweetness. So at 7.2%, you thought it would have this big, at least a decent, aggressive pop of sweetness in combination with at least a little bit of resinous hop. It's kind of there, but nothing overly crazy. Very soft. Very... Smells like it's going to be chuggable. Let's put it that way. Why don't we find out? Let's dive in. Cheers. That's really good, actually. Even at 3 months old, it's West Coast through and through, but it really does lack this overly aggressive sweetness. And I kind of really dig it. I mean, these piney resinous hops that, honestly, they probably have dropped off a bit over 3 months, but they're still there. And there's not that kind of ghosts of hops past non-aggressiveness to it. It's still aggressive for its level. 7.2, you'd expect it to be even a little bit more aggressive, but it's nice. It's biting. It's sharp. The beer has a heftiness to its body, but it's not thick, but it's not thin. Infinitely drinkable. Ends up finishing a little bit bittering, but a decent amount dry. If you think of some of those kind of venerable, classic kind of West Coast IPAs, double IPAs that verge into the 8-9 range, this is kind of like a little brother version of that. So it's giving you those piney resinous notes, more resinous than piney. Like I said, there's a sweetness to it, but it's not even close to being overly sweet, so it kind of lets those kind of aggressive, kind of resinous hops kind of lead the way, even though they, like I said, have dropped off just a skosh, and ends up being a clean, infinitely well made, nothing flawed in this beer whatsoever as far as I could taste. Just super drinkable beer, danger beer, if I will. I mean, these are the kind of beer I drink a couple of because it's so easy to drink, and it's not, really just doing anything overtly negative, as far as I shouldn't even say negative. Why did I say that? Overtly aggressive in the whole experience, where you drink a bunch of these and then you end up doing a lot of negative things. Maybe that's what I was thinking. You end up in trouble, hence danger beer. But I like this. I think it's fun. It would be really cool to try fresh. I mean, it's hard with some of these out-of-state beers, but take that sentiment, take that mentality aside, push it aside for a minute, and just think about 3-month-old canned beer from a non-super huge brewery that's bringing those West Coast vibes, holding on infinitely strong at the 3-month mark. I call that a win in my book. Let's put it that way. So, anyway, let's talk about it. Is this one of the better IPAs, because we can't call it hazy, even though technically, in old school terms, it is. Is it one of the better IPAs I've had? I was like, yes. Is it Mount Rushmore status? No. But if I had this fresh, I might change my mind, but it's damn tasty nonetheless. Value availability, no idea. Oak Ridge, if you want to let us know what's what, or anybody else out there in the old Heist brewery world, and leave you with, if you like what we like this beer. You like the West Coast, but you want a little touch. I didn't even talk about this little dabble of this new school, because I think the way it's kind of tempered, even if it's a matter of time or if it's purposeful, the temperedness and the aggressiveness of the resiness and the pininess, and the way it comes off, kind of a little bit more attenuated than a typical kind of new school beer, and different than a little bit of old school beer. I don't know. There's a subtle dollop of new school in here, but it's mostly West Coast. So if you like a West Coast IPA, why am I trying to talk myself into this being a hybrid? I don't know. It's a West Coast IPA. It's what it is. It's not overly aggressive. It's tasty. If you like drinking that shit, you'll like this beer. God damn. Man, I try to talk myself into weird shit sometimes. Anyway, there you go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review down there if you want to talk about it. Massive Beers if you want to check me out doing the social media stuff. Beer Massif if you want to check me out doing the whole podcasting thing. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully enjoying a little bit of a heist right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.